All right, next for you, we have a fantastic creator here, coming from what city in France are you living in currently?
It is on?
You're hot,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah,
Thanks.
We're going.
Saint-Brieuc.
Well, welcome so much. Thank you for coming all that way.
Can you repeat that?
What is it?
The city?
No, I cannot repeat that.
What did you ask?
Well, I wanted you to say it. Coming
Great.
all the way from France, Mr. Carlos 3D.
Thank you, Pooch. How are you, Amsterdam? Woo! Let's go! Thank you, everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I was this far to .com because funny story and stressful story. I just lost my passport on the train coming here, and then I just needed to go back to my home, recover it. It was crazy, but I'm just very glad to be here with you today. I'm going to talk to you about dream and make it real. It's kind of a personal story, but I do like and I do hope to connect with some of you guys and girls, because this is how it begins. So about me, as Push said, I'm in France, yes, but I'm originally from Mexico. As you can see, I don't look like as a French guy, right? So yeah, I'm from Mexico, but in 2017, I just moved to France because I was, and I am, an engineer, electromechanical engineer. I was working for a French company in Mexico. Then they proposed me a job in France, so long story short, I just landed over there. And I was using SolidWorks all the day long. SolidWorks, and I just began content creation into 2020 because we don't know, we all know why. I just had plenty of time to make something and just started. Yes, as I said on this final one today, I return to real reason why I studied engineer, create exceptional things. So this is a little bit of my backstory. I don't want to bother you with all of these details. I just want to know where I'm from, why I'm living in France, and why I'm here in Amsterdam. So first of all, thank you for all the organization to invite me. Very happy to be here. Now let's roll. So why I'm taking time to tell you my backstory? Because I want to know that coming from Mexico, we had a lot of American culture coming, like pop culture, colorful things. They have their things, like the pop culture thing, comic books, Return to the Future, that kind of stuff, you know, Star Wars and such. But then, again, because I'm Mexican, I had also my identity, because we have Días de los Muertos, we have luchadores, that is wrestling, and we had a lot of cultural, colorful things, and imagine being a kid on the 90s with all this mixture of colors and ideas, and when I was a child, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. We can create, we have all the opportunities on our hands. I was watching Spider-Man, I was watching X-Men, Nickelodeon, that kind of things. And I think we all can relate, because when we are childs, when we are young, we think everything is possible. So I just keep that on my mind, and I say to myself, okay, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be an engineer. Because in my mind, it's like, okay, being an engineer equals to create amazing things. Thing happens, and then I just realized that being an engineer, it's good. You start like as apprentice, then you start creating some stuff in the company, but then your boss see that you are good enough in numbers, and he puts you in another they give you like an upgrade, and you improve yourself, and you earn more money, and then you realize after 5 or 6 years that you are only an engineer in paper, and then you are only doing Excel's, PowerPoints, and indicators and such. And then in 2020, I was like, fuck, this is this is not what I was dreaming of. What happened? Somewhere in this line of growing up, I just lost something. And that's why this slide is about reconnecting myself and ourselves with our inner kids. And I remember just taking this photo, and I saw this kid just laughing and say, I need to reconnect. So in 2020, I just began 3D printing, but not benches. I just 3D printed like, okay, we just combine engineering with some, as my wife said, stupid creations. So I just created my first machine. This is a bubble machine we have on the right side. So yeah, it's a stupid creation because you need just one motor and then the other side a fan. So the idea is like it's going to spin, get some soap, and then the fan will do the job. As easy as it seems, I had a lot of problems, but it was crazy, and I was like, I think we have something here. Then I just made another stupid machine that it's going to sort and separate the colors from the Skittles. So my wife was, I don't know why you're losing time on it. And I was like, I prefer losing time on this than in Animal Crossing trying to create my island for the 4th time. And this is for sure. I was just soaked on the Animal Crossing thing, and I was like, no. I was connecting with my inner child, but not the good one, you know? So yeah, I just started creating this kind of things, and then I just called my sister in Mexico. And this is because ignorance, or I don't know, and I was like, I don't have any more ideas. Of course we have, but we are going to talk about that later. And I say to my sister, like, I don't have any more ideas. I don't know what to do. I need to put content out, you know? And she was like, yeah, do you remember when you were in Mexico, you felt inspired? And like, if you are now in this journey to reconnect with your older self, do you remember that in 2013 you created the first prototype of an Iron Man armor? And I was like, yeah, but it was out of paper, and it took me like 2 years or something. And she was like, okay, you have now 3D printers, go ahead. I was like, nah, fuck, it's too much time. Dude, we are 2020, you have enough time. So like, yeah, maybe you're right. And maybe now I can apply like the real engineer things and go the step further. So just a little bit about the first armor that I made. I just was really inspired in 2008 for the Iron Man character, not because of Robert Downey Jr., he made such an amazing job, but the fact of somebody creating an armor, and it was an engineer as me. I don't have the budget as he had, but I was like, oh yeah, I can do it myself. But at the time I was in Mexico again, but I don't have the money. So I was like, okay, what do I have here? Paper, let's go. So I just find my way to do what I love on my budget, right? So that's another lesson here. The budget, it's important, but you can find a way. So we step forward to the creation. So yes, I was learning a lot about construction, 3D printing. I was like creating a stupid machine, but then again, how to 3D print a whole suit. I was ignorant enough to say, okay, I just have at the time I had a Prusa Mini. It just came out in 2020, and I had like 2 Creality CR10s, and I was like, yeah, I have the muscle because CR10, but there are like pretty big chunks of plastic. What should I do? So I learned a lot of things, like trying to size everything down. Again, this armor was made for 190 kind of American guy, so as you can see, Mexican 170. So that was the big first problem. So I just started building, things begins to happen, I just start creating content, and then I just started to say, okay, now that I'm 3D printing, how can I apply my skills of an engineer on this thing? And that's another lesson maybe here that we have, like, okay, we can get inspired by people, By the way, I was inspired by Frankly Built, Emily the Engineer, Chiara, and such. But then again, it was like, okay, I will be inspired, but then I will twist a little bit and trying to make my own mechanics, my own PCB boards, my own automatic system, etc., etc. So I just made that. And in this process, I just made my own PC board. As you can see, it's Carlos 3D. I just spent a lot of time just prototyping. By the way, I was starting to sell them, but again, I don't have the budget like to have like the stock and such. I think, or Frank here will teach us more about business because I was pretty bad trying to commercialize this. Anyway, I just made some prototypes for me. Now I'm just creating helmets like in one day or something, so it's pretty fast. So yeah, that's the beauty of it, like trying to learn, trying to put something of your skills on the projects. And this is the final result. We have the first version in 2021. I think the photo is beautiful because of the editing, but we had a lot of faults on this suit. But the second one, I'm really proud because I just took everything that I learned on the first one. The first one, for information, took me like 1 year and a half. I wasn't like 100% on this build. I was working on the weekends. We moved from apartment, etc. But for the 2023 version, it took me like around 1 month after having all the pieces together. So the gap between 1 year and a half and 1 month is because we learn a lot on the process. I was working with a friend of mine who helped me on the second one. I just note everything that I did wrong, and I just corrected everything. So you see, you're trying to learn something, then you master it or you improve it. So now, let's talk about, we put Iron Man away. It was funny part, it just helped me to release content, to connect with people. But then again, I was starting to feeling like, okay, but people just are connecting with me because Iron Man is really cool. But again, I'm an engineer. I want to create things. My inner child, yada yada. So I just started creating for SolidWorks for Makers. SolidWorks for Makers is a new offer that SolidWorks is offering, and it's like 50 euros per year. So coming from an engineering school, it was like, okay, this is cool. Let's use it. And then again, I was like, okay, back then when I was in Mexico, I just remember playing some arcades, and I remember Marvel versus Capcom stuff. And because I'm transitioning from Iron Man to engineering, 3D printing stuff, why not creating the proton cannon kind of superpower? And I just teased this idea to the SolidWorks team. I just teased this idea to the friend who is helping me in the workshop. And we just lost, okay, he's come back. And I was like pretty excited, like imagine a 2 meters long cannon. And they were like, okay. And they were like, okay, imagine that. And I was like, it's awesome, right? And they were like, no, dude, it will take so much time. It will take so much filament. It will take so much design time. No. I was like, okay, let's tackle every problem at a time. So the first problem was weight and filament. And I was like, yeah, I will be pretty dumb to print everything 100 infill or things like that. And also, I don't have the budget to get like 100 kilos of PLA. And also, I don't that strong, again, Mexican 170, to have 2 meters long proton cannon. So I was like, what about inside we don't have anything? And I will just use my superpowers, my CAD superpowers. So that's that now I'm connecting, like having superpowers, knowing how to use CAD and 3D printing is like having superpowers. Because now I just create like skeleton inside of it with PVC pipes and some rings. And everything inside of it, it's empty. It's hollow. And as you can see in this small video that took me a little while to put on, well, I was pretty proud of it, but then the creation was made. So you see my face over there? Well, appreciate that because it only lasts for 5 seconds. I was telling my camera guy, like, take the photo, take the photo. It was the only one we have good enough to showcase our job. I'm really proud of it. I think we have, again, a lot of things to learn about this project. I was dumb enough to don't realize that the tip, because of the shape, will have like something of, you know what I mean? Yeah, so we lost up. And then we learned, for example, in the front of it, we have some LEDs. I just spent like 1 day and a half trying to wire everything and such. It didn't show on the video, so why bother? So yeah. Then the first idea that I have is like 2 meters long cannon, and inside of it, we're going to put a compressor and launch real things. So as you can see, the compressor and such didn't make up. So yeah, that's the final project. One thing that I want to emphasize here, and I think this was a good lesson, and now I'm trying to do as much as possible, is like not everything needs to be 3D printed. So for example, if you can see the circular parts that we have like here, these are PVC pipes. And I just designed the cover, and that's it. This circular part, the top part, it's like made of MDF or something. Also, we had like this complication, like, okay, 2 meters long, but how are we going to assemble it easily enough to transport it? So that's, again, the beauty of this project. So let's jump to another one, and I was like, okay, we are into superhero, cosplay, pop culture kind of stuff. I do love Spider-Man, but I got inspired years ago on Instagram. One child in America was using a overboard with a cardboard kind of glider from the Green Goblin, and was like, maybe we can do the same, but with CAD and 3D printing. So I just started creating this. As you can see, I was not used to drive some overboard. So first of all, try to test it. I just felt a couple of times. I must admit that one time was on purpose for the video. I was like, yeah, it would be cool like if I just fell. The second time was not, but... and then again, I was like, okay, overboard seems to be easy enough to hack, but what is inside of it? So when I opened, I just realized that there is not much happening. There is some activation here and there, but the main problem was like the articulation kind of stuff. And then it's like, okay, so I need to consider this on my design. Talking about design, I was like, how the hell I'm going to design this amorphous shape, because I'm an engineer. I create parametric stuff. But another lesson here is like I just tried to go out from my comfort zone. And I was like, oh, I heard about a tool inside of SolidWorks that is called X-Shape, and it just allows you to do these kind of things, like trying to push, pull, and make some amorphous things, right? So I just went with it. It crashed me like 3 or 4 times. I was almost ready to say, fuck, I will just drop everything off. But I didn't give up, and that's another thing here. Sometimes you need to give up, but you need to be really sure that, okay, now I need to give up. Like for sanity's sake, I need to give up. But here I was like, no, I'm getting pretty close. I'm really pretty close. So I was just saving 5 minutes every 5 minutes. And I just began with a photo of a toy. Then I just started to shape a little bit. And once that I have like the shape that I wanted, I was like, what is the extra step on this project? And that's another thing that I want to emphasize and to share with you is like, every time I make a project, it's like, what is the twist? Because it's cool to create things, but if I just starting my video just saying like blah, 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 just create this, maybe I need to make like a twist, like, okay, I will do this overboard, but it will run at 100 kilometers per hour. So that's the twist. It's not the case, but for me, that's a twist. But also, another thing that is called what else, right? So I went this path of what else, and I was like, oh, maybe it could be good to make some flames. And then again, how to design flames, right? I'm not a sculptor, I'm an engineer. And then again, it's like, more I say engineer to you is like, nah, I'm not an engineer, I'm just a maker. I'm just a guy who loves to create things, and engineer is on the paper, but not in the feeling, right? So I just like, okay, I'm a creative guy, maker, let's just do some flames, and trying to put some spice on it. At the end of the day, this was the final result. Pretty proud about 2 weeks of modeling. So I just designed the blades, I just designed the guns. Then again, my main idea was like putting some servos and deploy them. But I had a contract, and they told me like, you need to finish this by the end of the month. And I was like, oh fuck, I wanted to make this like doing so much crazy stuff, but at least I finished the flames. I printed everything on a PETG translucent red. I just put some LEDs inside of it. I just NeoPixel it, and it was pretty good. So this is the final result. We just had some fun with a friend of mine who is way younger than me. By the way, I'm 34. So at the beginning, my wife was like, what the fuck are you doing? Because like 30 and some years old, and that's another thing I want to share with you is like sometimes, and most of the time, I think we are afraid of what people are going to think about us. And I'm saying always this, and my wife is like, your mind is pretty black. And I was like, no, life is too short to care about what people say about you. I think it's important because if it's your family, your loved ones, you need to consider. You don't just throw away their opinions. But the outer circle is like, whatever. And also, you don't need to postpone things for later, right? We don't know what later is. So that's just sharing a little bit. I'm a little bit early about this talk. I think we have a little bit more left. I just want to say thank you, everyone. My final message is like, just follow your dreams. I started in Mexico, pretty poor family. I had one dream. I got lost in the way. I just came back. I don't regret it. I don't know where this journey is going to end, but I'm pretty happy to be here in Amsterdam with lovely people, lovely creators, and then again, follow your dreams.
Hey, Carlos, if you don't mind, do you mind taking some questions or let me ask you some questions? Does anybody have some questions for Carl? Oh, Daniel's ready right here. He's had it teed up the entire time.
How much did the final print weigh?
How much did the final print weigh?
Do you want the official answer or the real answer?
They're not the same.
The real answer is, I don't know. Okay. I just went to the 30 kilos kind of stuff, and then I was like rushing. The final week I was like just building it, sanding, painting, and my official guess is around 40 kilos, some stuff. back then I was doing gym, so it was like pretty, yeah, exactly. And also it was like resting on my shoulder, so. But yeah, I will say roughly 40 kilos, kind of stuff.
40 kilos. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Other questions for Carlos? I've got some. If nobody else is brave enough, I've got some. Oh, back here. Hold on.
How are you going to build a
Hulkbuster. I think we have the problem of budget here.
No, never a problem. We have so many sponsors that want to work with you.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. So pretty soon. I hope pretty soon.
Soon, TM. Over here. Here, let me hand you the mic so everybody can hear you.
Hello. Your painting and looks very nice. What's your secret?
Thank you. My secret is to make a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. Well, I don't have any secrets because I just made a video in French about the difference between painting with a can and spray gun compressor. And we noticed that the difference is not so, we will say, you see a difference, but it's not quite impressive to say like, oh yeah, it's because you have a compressor. I mean, with compressor you go faster, like the spray gun, right? But I think the secret is sanding, man. It's really a pain, but you need to post-processing your stuff. I think this weekend we have a post-processing workshop with...
this afternoon, David Schwartz with Prusa at 2 o'clock. So if you're interested in that...
He's a master of post-processing, so give it a try.
So if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. And I want to bring you the mic because the people that are watching on the stream need to be able to hear what the question is as well. So you had a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, hello. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thanks.
I would like to know, you shared that you have some deadlines and such, and probably your daily work and such. Do you have deadlines also for your projects? Like, I need to complete this thing for the next 2 weeks because, you want to do that, or that's my question.
That's a good question, and I think this is one of the things a lot of content creators have. Like, for sure, being a content creator is good, but also we're very passionate, so we lose track of time. We lose track of the expenses, because that's one of the things I learned, is that when you are passionate enough, it's like, whatever, it's going to cost me whatever, but I want to go and just accomplish this. So this can be really tricky, because you can put in danger some stuff over there. But then this is this part, and then is like the sponsorship part of things. So yeah, when I have a sponsorship and they have like, okay, we need to release this day, is this day and no more, you know? So yeah, the problem is that you say to yourself, yeah, I will do this 2 meters long cannon in 1 month. We made it in 1 month, but we just started our day at 7 a.m. and we just finished it at 3 a.m. during 2 weeks or something like that. So it was pretty hard. So lesson learned, don't ask for 1 month, ask for a little bit more. Again, like doing mistakes like this, it will teach us, like, don't do the same mistake.
That's a really good question, and I think it's interesting because I've asked other creators too. Like, when do you set milestones? Like, will you actually set your own timeline? Like, you break it down and you're like, I got to do this, or you just kind of go with it?
Well, at the beginning, yes. Like, it's like, okay, at the beginning I had like six weeks to creating a project. That's it, and I just like came with the idea to create these massive projects, but they didn't ask me to do that. But it was my idea, right? So I was like, yeah, we can do it. If I just spend 1 week designing this, then another week printing it, I have like 4 weeks of post-processing. At the end of the day, I just made my milestones, but I didn't meet with the milestones because I was on vacations, then I got some family things going, so life, right? So when you don't meet with your milestones, you don't need to rush everything and to work very hard.
Just got to roll with it sometimes.
Exactly.
I think Prash has got a question for you.
Hey, Carlos, big fan.
super inspiring talk. Really nice to see.
Thanks.
What's next for Carlos?
Oh, nice question. Thank you. What's next? So, for information, my socials, I think I didn't talk about this. My Instagram is a mixture between English and French. So it's like a common ground. So just come join us on my journey. YouTube is more for a French market, but now I'm pretty proud and happy to say that YouTube chose my channel to dub, auto-dubbing. It's not perfect, but at least you can understand what I'm saying, and the projects are really visuals. Saying that, now, what is next? So, I think we are going to talk later. I had like something of a burnout, like, I don't know what to do. This content is not going the path that I was following. And then I just came back from a travel from Mexico this year. I just disconnect of everything. I just trying to reconnect with my culture and the things that gave me happiness. And I just came out with the idea like, well, you have the answer there. So I was talking with my brother. So that's one of the things that I miss the most when people tell me like, do you miss your country? And it's like, not so much. It's more like little things of life, you know, trying to sit with your brother and talk. So we were talking and he was like, dude, I love your content. You should make like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff. Because when I was a child and he was like expressing the same vibe that I wanted to express, and I was like, there we have it. Like, it's not also about myself. It's like, okay, I will try to reunite 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000 young people to these projects. So right now I'm working on a series of creating the most emblematic, epic items and projects from the cartoons out of 70s, 80s, 90s and stuff. So I'm pretty happy because I just ordered an electrical motor, a battery and such. I just received the notification today that they are going to arrive next week, and I'm going to rebuild and to convert a go-kart to an electric kart, and then I'm going to design the van of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I just got the permission from the mayor of my town to drive it on the streets and to just give pizza away, and I will dress myself just at what moment on your life is like, whatever. I just going to be with it. So I'm going to create this. I will try to create this van around this cart, ride with it, and then I have projects like that. For example, the next project is going to be the Inspector Gadget hat. So the Inspector Gadget, as you may know, is like this hat that have everything on it. So now I have the program and such, so I will have a microphone and I will say, go gadget this thing, and it will open and we'll have something in it. And the twist on this video is like I will go to the shopping mall and I will say, I forgot my credit card. Go gadget credit card. It's kind of a silly thing, but that kind of project I'm creating, and let's see what happened.
I'm glad you brought up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because that's near and dear to me, but I have a very important question for you on this. Which is the best of all the turtles?
I got a strong feeling.
Careful how you answer.
I mean,
these are fighting words.
A strong feeling about Raphael.
Raphael?
A strong feeling, but my favorite is Michelangelo.
A lot of Michelangelo.
He's the kind of Hawaiian cool guy, so great.
Any other questions for Carlos before I ask him one more? I appreciate you riffing with us. Integs is in the Uber right now, and so we're just giving him a little more time to get here. Can I ask you a question that I asked you actually a while ago?
Sure.
That it's not an insult. I don't want you to take it personally, but it's like kind of that one of those hot button questions, right? Because you see it in the comments a lot of the time. YouTube is just brutal with comments, right? So as a cosplayer, as somebody that gets dressed up, gets permission from your town to drive a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, truck around town and things like that, what is it like? Why, as an adult, is it okay to be a cosplayer? Like, aren't you too old to cosplay?
No, but I mean, maybe 5 years ago I would take it like an insult, but it's maybe because we are not sure about ourselves. So right now it's like taking it like, yeah, because you don't feel the vibe and you don't understand the things I'm feeling, right? So then again, like I said before, it's like what people think can be hurtful sometimes, but this is a preparation and we need to learn how to deal with it. So at the beginning, I was really afraid to go out and to sit and to check with my people at work, right? And of course, I had a lot of. I remember one day coming to work and the newspaper of my town they made an article about this engineering is creating the Iron Man armor. I was just 3D printing it, so nothing to brag about, yeah? But local newspaper were like, wow. And I just remember coming to work as an engineer, and I had the photo posted on my office. And I was coming back, I was like, oh, and I just turned my face around, and people were laughing. Like, we saw you on the newspaper. But at the beginning it was like a rough, and then it was like, whatever. Just embrace it, right? Just, yeah, whatever. And then the next thing that I noticed, they were like asking me. So at first it's like rejection, right? Like, because they are afraid, because they are not doing what you are doing. And by that, they are saying to you, like, that's stupid, that you should not do that. But then when they see that you embrace it, it's like, oh, could you please tell us more? How does it feel? Is it cool? Yeah. Can we try it with our shells? So this thing, I just try to embrace it then again, and just to vibe with it, roll with it.
Now, obviously, I asked you the question to be provocative because, YouTube is brutal that way, but we've been friends a long time, and you know that I love everything about what you do.
Thanks, man.
But I think you bring up a really good point that sometimes as a creator, it's really hard to have a thick skin and ignore it. But do you find that those kinds of comments, even if they start from like a mean, insulting place, does it motivate you? Does it inspire you somewhat? I mean, because I know sometimes it's just a real drag. You work really hard. You don't know how the video is going to do, and to see negative comments like that.
Yeah.
But like, how do you turn that into an inspiration?
That's a good question. And then again, I was driving with John today, and the beauty of life, I think, is that we are all different. So if I say to you today something that works for me, maybe for you it doesn't work, but I think the best thing we have here is like you need to find your zone, and you are okay with it. So for example, for me, what it worked, sometimes, like you said, you're pretty stressed and people are just mean. And I say to my wife, like, oh, fuck, I'm just going to abandon everything and such. And I just start talking, and after 1 hour, you forget, like, everything is out. So communicate with people, try to establish conversation. Also, what it worked for me is, like, I just started conversation with mean people in comments, like, well, I do understand, but I don't know why you are mean. And then the conversation just changed, like, sorry, or things like that. But then there are also mean people, so I just block them. As easy as that.
I think that's therapy sometimes. I mean, that's a critical part. You have to be defensive of that piece. So, anyway.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, okay.
No. It was so interesting, and I wanted to be more near Carlos because his talk was great. Right?
Yeah, fantastic. I gotta ask you like one more on this subject because I think it's something that's really important to me. You mentioned that sometimes just giving it a little space and getting back to the things that make you passionate about it is key. Mm-hmm. But the other thing I feel like I've noticed, because we've been to a few events together now, the things that people will say to your face versus behind a keyboard, very different. Like, do you encounter people actually approach you in public that are aggressive and mean that way, or is that really? So does that make you feel better that really like people are good and they're excited about what you're doing more? Like, I feel like that's a really important message for creators to hear.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the thing that motivates me the most and that inspire me and give me energy is to be here, like with talks, with conventions. Last week I was in Birmingham, so people coming around, like discovering your things, and I don't pretend that people know me. We are just chatting and just trying to get a talk. That's a good vibe because people are just approaching you, talk with you. What is your project? Do you try to make this and that? And you are just feeling like you are in the same mood and the same environment of makers, passionate and such. That's, I think, the most important part. I must say that I had some bad, funny now experience on the streets because back then I was doing cosplay on the streets for events and such. So yeah, drunk people pass by, they hit my face. Another guy just throw me a rock. Things like that. Yeah. But then again, it's like, maybe it's my fault to be on the street. Like you expose yourself, right? So maybe we need to expose ourselves on safe environment. But again, you never know, right? So it's life. And
that's fantastic insight. Listen, Carlos, I want to thank you so much for being here. This was a fantastic talk. Carlos 3D, ladies and gentlemen.